Mickey Free, Dwayne Chapman, Captain Falcon, Boba Fett. The life of a bounty hunter is one full of excitement and danger, and in the case of the star of this week's film, abs. Chiseled, aesthetically pleasing, heterosexual abs. Since leaving WWE in 2011, John Morrison has carved his own path in professional wrestling. The man who's had more last names than I can count has made a splash in AAA, Lucha Underground, and Impact Wrestling since going on his own, but even though it's what he's best known for, John's passions go beyond the squared circle.
I was a film major at UC Davis. Back before they even had a film program, I had to do an individual major in film aesthetics and culture. After that run with WWE, I started to think about some of my dreams growing up about making action movies.
That love of filmmaking has led to Boone the Bounty Hunter, which came out in 2017. Created, funded, produced, written by, and starring the mayor of Slamtown himself, Boone tells the story of a celebrity bounty hunter who gets in over his head when trying to save his show. There's a bit more to it than that, but I think Morrison just made this movie so he could have a feature-length parkour reel.
Well, that's not entirely untrue.
So put on your bedazzled sunglasses, feather your hair, and get ready to enter the Palace of Wisdom. Because on this week that celebrates America's independence, we're about to watch a very American movie in Boone the Bounty Hunter. The film begins with a chase on foot through a neighborhood in Southern California. You know, when a shirtless man is chasing someone else down the street, 9 times out of 10, meth is involved. But instead, it's Boone, the title character, chasing after Kevin Sorbo, who plays Kevin Sorbo. Man, from Federline to Sorbo, John has definitely traded up with his Kevins. As Sorbo does a pretty good job keeping away from Jomo, he keeps bumping into members of Boone's production team who take time to mock him. This includes Kat, Denny, and Jackson, played by, well, Quentin Rampage Jackson. They probably just didn't want to confuse him. After showing off some more wicked stunts, Boone takes down Sorbo.
Kevin Sorbo, you just got Boone. America, you're welcome.
Yes, it's all in a day's work for Boone the Bounty Hunter, the namesake of a popular reality TV series where celebrities who skip court are brought to justice. Boone is a former Marine, which seems to be a popular jumping-off point for a lot of characters played by wrestlers. This show is Boone taking down all sorts of celebrities, like Tiny Lister, and this lady who had a bit role in E.T., and this guy who's been on some TV shows. I mean, I'm guessing these ones are meant to be celebrity cameos since they're credited as being themselves, but sorry, no pop out of me. Would have been better to take this scene from the credits and move it up.
Shut up, Chavo!
After nabbing Herc, Boone is approached by a group of female fans, only for us to learn once the camera stopped rolling that they're plants hired to make Boone look good.
Boone fans, your van's waiting across the street. Come on, and don't forget to sign your release forms.
That damn George Soros, is there no low he won't stoop to? In what could be a strength of the film or a weakness, they never definitively say if the entire show is staged or just the bystanders. It's established that everyone knows who Boone is and what he does, but with Sorbo it's not very clear if he's in on the work or not. There are some signs that could be interpreted either way.
Keep running!
Just parking tickets! Come on! I'm only an actor!
How do I go from Hun Hussein to Hercules?
I've done a lot of other movies and TV shows since I was on the air, buddy.
That was your best work.
This sucks. Hey. This is gonna air before my movie comes out next month, right?
I'm sure it will.
Okay, good.
As Boone and crew celebrate another successful arrest, we meet Ryan Davenport, played by once adorable child star Jonathan Lipnicki. Hey, they still gotta work when they grow up, right? Ryan is the spoiled son of a drug lord, and he uses his father's wealth to throw lavish pool parties. Here we see him drugging his girlfriend, then letting her try some of his dad's new product. She dies instantly. That's a pretty stoic reaction to seeing someone die in front of you. That's the look I give if my computer crashes before I save my work, or when my cat gets sick on the rug. Damn it, that's the second time this month! At Boone HQ, the gang is shocked to learn that their show is getting the axe due to low ratings.
What if our last episode does huge numbers?
It's not going to, Boone. People don't care anymore. They think this is staged.
Again, still not totally sure myself. Back at Casa de Drugs, Ryan has brought a hooker into his champagne-infused hot tub when his dad Cole barges in on the canoodling.
Ryan was telling me about your new product. I have people high up in distribution who could really— Oh my God!
Strange that he seems to be more impacted by that happening than his girlfriend dying of an overdose in the previous scene.
Your accident now has my product in her bloodstream. You know what that means? The feds know what to look for.
Cole says he needs to go down to their factory in Mexico to speed up production of his product, and that he's bringing Ryan with him to keep him in line. Boone hears about Ryan thanks to his source in the DEA and is convinced that nabbing the spoiled kid will put them back on top, not to mention make them $1 million richer. By the way, who does the DEA's interior design work? So hip and modern.
Ryan Davenport, trust fund kid charged with the second-degree murder of Candy Charlie. Get this, they found a new designer drug in her system too.
Wow, you were way too excited about that factoid, John. Just about everyone is against Boone's harebrained field trip idea, most of all their producer.
We're not going. End of discussion.
Boy, amazing how her mouth wasn't open for part of that sentence. Boone is able to convince Kat and Denny to come along with him to Mexico to extradite Ryan. Jackson takes a hard stance against it and stays back, while this cameraman from the first scene is just gone for the rest of the movie. That's weird. On the drive down south, we get to see Boone's more romantic side as he openly asks for sex from his only female teammate in front of another colleague.
We need to relieve the sexual tension between us.
Showmance could help the ratings.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I do it to save everyone's jobs.
The three finally make their way into town, which if I didn't know any better, was the same place that porno crew found El Mascarado. A killer luchador and a drug cartel? Man, I bet you the temple's not too far from here. They find a man tied to a noose, punished for being lazy as the sign around his neck says. They are largely unfazed by this though, and start talking to a small child.
How'd you like to be? A deputy bounty hunter.
Hello? Still dying of thirst literally inches away from you over here.
Calm down, Chief. I got a card for you too.
The team tracks down Ryan, who is being looked after against his will by the photo negatives of the twins from The Matrix Reloaded. Davenport enters a brothel but has a decoy lead the two brothers away.
Let's go boon this chump stain. Boon voyage, Ryan Davenport.
Group boon.
Let's boon him.
All right,
Let's
guys.
boon this kid.
Settle down on the
Let's
boon phrases.
Stop trying to make
Boone
happen. It's not going to happen.
Boone asks too many questions about Ryan's whereabouts and is surrounded by a group of heavies. A fight ensues, which allows Boone the chance to use his parkour. Oh, that flippy shit.
Where's Ryan? Upstairs. Where's the stairs? Over there.
As Boone nabs Ryan, Kat and Denny are arrested by the local police, who are paid by the elder Davenport. Boone takes Ryan to a remote location, dumps him in an outhouse, ties the door shut, then kicks it down on its door so he can go back and save his friends. In the middle of nowhere, in the blazing heat, yeah, pretty sure this kid's gonna be dead soon.
There's your problem. No engine.
Yeah, probably because the engine is in the back of a Beetle. Boone finds himself cornered by Milli Vanilli, and the fight is on. After getting his ass kicked, Boone then gets shot in the chest by police, then spends about 20 seconds falling down Mexico's largest hill. Back in jail, La Policia start out being accommodating to Kat and Denny, but it all turns out to be a ruse to try and get Ryan back. Daddy Davenport arrives and says the two are next to die if Ryan isn't found soon.
Let us call Jackson. We can arrange a trade. Us for Ryan.
That plan is never followed up on. Do you think he actually meant to grab him, but they kept this blooper in the final cut anyway? Back in the Badlands, the little boy from earlier, Miguel, finds Johnny Boone near death, but takes him home where his father, a doctor, is able to patch him up. Realizing they're harboring a fugitive, the boy's parents get into an argument.
Entrégame a la policía, eso es lo que vas a hacer. Si hacemos eso, es como si lo hubiéramos mandado aquí a nuestra casa. Mejor que nosotros pensando, es muy peligroso que él está aquí.
Knowing that the footage they've shot will prove that the Federales have his friends, Boone borrows Miguel's bike to get back to the police station, and the sight of a grown man riding a little kid's bike to the tune of his own theme song is pretty damn awesome. Kat and Denny are strong, independent second bananas who don't need no man and are able to escape their own predicament just in time for Boone to arrive, but they get upset when they see that Boone was looking for the footage before them. Conflict ensues.
Get in the van, Denny.
We almost died today. And nothing else should have mattered to you!
Denny gets shot, and the trio manage to escape. They're able to get away until the van breaks down, and I guess at no point in that drive did Boone try to explain himself. I mean, look at how much the light changes between scenes. You could have told them what was going on in 30 seconds. After an argument, Boone heads back into town to get Ryan himself, but discovers that Miguel has been kidnapped by Davenport's men after the boy's father was beaten half to death. Knowing what he must do, Boone says he's willing to sacrifice himself to make things right with Davenport and get Miguel back to his family. Kat and Denny are somehow able to hear all of this newfound humility thanks to the camera they had installed in the bar earlier, prompting them to practically teleport back into town. I just have one question. How are they able to get a signal in the middle of nowhere? Boone goes back to the outhouse and grabs Ryan, who has somehow not died from heat stroke, and we have a good old-fashioned final confrontation at the drug factory.
The only way you're getting your son back is if you let the kid go.
I don't want him back.
What?
Ouch, Ryan. That sucks, man. I know that's tough, but you really should call your stepdad Jerry. He knows what's best for you. Suddenly, the team's drone drops in, and an emboldened townsfolk storms the place. A huge gunfight ensues as Lorenzo Lamas fires rounds from his peculiar-sounding shotgun.
Come on, folks, move, move.
From there, the action splits off into three major arcs. Miguel tries to run away from Ryan, Kat fights with Cole's bodyguard Tess, and Boone is back to fighting the dreadlocked brothers. But man, who's going to help Boone in this impossible fight with two highly skilled fighters? Why, none other than Rampage Jackson, who gives him advice over a computer.
2, 1. Now, Boone, now! Remember that time the Boone carry top? Same move! Hit it now!
Do a barrel roll!
Yeah!
Mixed martial arts star Quentin Rampage Jackson. What a badass! As Boone fights off his adversaries and Kat KOs her rival, Cole tries to escape town via helicopter, but not before picking off the townsfolk from way up there with a pistol? Man, of all the crazy shit in this movie, why does that irk me the most? But Denny saves the day by strapping a grenade to his drone and flying it up to the chopper. Boy, that thing's got a long timer on it. Oh, excuse me. Godspeed, Vanguard 1. Your sacrifice will not be in vain. We get a final face-off between Boone and Ryan, who has Miguel as his hostage.
I was really hoping this could be a Boone special.
He could have gotten free at any time, couldn't he? So Ryan's arrested, Kat and Denny kiss, the show is renewed, Boone gives more screen time to his team, and everybody happy, until the film ends with a cliffhanger to set up a sequel that may or may not happen.
I just made you a very rich man. When can you move in?
And that was Boone the Bounty Hunter. It's the Three Amigos in a modern setting. That isn't meant to be a knock on Boone, though. There are certainly worse movies you could draw inspiration from, but the parallels do come to mind often as I watch this movie. It's still definitely fun to watch, the writing is solid, the chemistry between the actors is good, and the action never stalls for too long. It's an action comedy where the action doesn't take itself too seriously, and the comedy doesn't drown out everything else. I will say one of the biggest issues I have with this movie is the use of Rampage Jackson, or lack thereof. Here you have this legit cage fighter on your cast and they do almost nothing with him. I'm pretty sure he doesn't even throw a punch. I think he'd be much better suited in the thick of the action instead of giving Boone long distance prompts like he was the mastermind behind a big QuickTime event. But those issues aside, Boone is still pretty enjoyable. You can tell this project was a labor of love for John Morrison, and his passion shows in every scene he's in. If you're in the mood for it, I recommend you check this movie out. Be sure to thumbs up this video if you like it, comment below, subscribe to Wrestling with Regret, and buy the t-shirts at ProWrestlingTees.com. I'm Brian Zane, and America, you're welcome.
Yeah, man. That's my line. America, you're welcome.
You break the law, it might say that you're doomed. You try to rob